The last little part here is South America. Well, it's not a little part; it's an entire continent um, to itself. So, I mean, again, sort of the broad strokes. If we're looking at South America, as you have you have the geographically, you have this huge Amazon basin, the rainforests, which again are a challenging place to live. Um, with it has resources, lots of resources, but with the rain um, and rivers and having to live within forests, it is quite a challenging world. And then the other side, you have you can kind of see it better here. You have this huge mountain range, the Andes Mountains, which divides sort of South America into two real prominent geographical zones, topographical zones. You have sort of the Andes world, this sort of quick, sort of small ribbon of land along the coast, juts very quickly up into these high mountains. It's a lot of here you can see sort of these worlds are much more sort of connected between the oceans and the mountain ranges, allowed for the development of complex civilizations. We'll look at a little bit more. Whereas this was very flat all the way down, and then here it gets really people live down here in southern Argentina as well. Um, uh, and these are it's kind of like more similar to like the flat Great Plains of North America, quite cold in the winter. But I don't think they had bison down here, so a little bit different. The pom I can't remember what this area is called. Um, but here you kind of see we are within the Amazon world. We are starting to make a little more sense of people that have lived here. So you can kind of see these are archaeological sites that have been developed. A lot of earthwork. So we do think that humans, as they started settling in the Amazon, did start terraforming, setting up, setting out, cutting out of the forest, setting up bigger settlement areas, some small scale farming. And we're even seeing sort of this high density, this anthropogenic soils. What this means is they think that over time, a lot of dust and things have come across, been pushed across out of the Sahara Desert into the Amazon world. And then humans were very adept at sort of gathering that up. So now along the Amazon, they found these, again, what looks like to be terraformed worlds, that these early peoples that it wasn't just living in whatever the forest provided, but they're actually definitely altering their landscapes. And so we're still trying to understand this. The hard thing about the Amazon forest and tropical climates in general is that if humans leave and don't maintain it, the forest takes it over really quickly. Rain, water, mud, plants, things grow and just kind of overgrow it very quickly. So if humans did move around and leave some of these areas, they were very, very quickly taken over. Down here in the sort of in the south, one of the very famous places are these Nazca lines, where up in sort of the Andes highlands of southern South America, they've created these huge lines. We don't really know what they are. They're along what look like early highways, roads that connected various regions. So again, their purpose, religious maybe, cultural. We don't really know. But they are these large figures that again you can really only see from above, which also makes it very interesting. They've purposely moved these. These are just rocks that have been moved out of the way and created these large geometric figures. And they've perpetuated there because it's a very up here in the island is a very dry, one of the driest deserts on the backside of the Andes. Actually, I think the rain comes this way, hits the Andes. That's why the Amazon is the way it is. So it's on these backside of the Andes where it's very dry. But it is through the Andean societies where we do see complex worlds, and that's because they cultivated this crop of potatoes. So potatoes come from South America, particularly the Andes world. They also domesticated llamas, alpacas. I think they grew guinea pigs as well for meat. So we do have sort of what we would see as more concentrated worlds, urban centers. One of the earliest urban centers in all of the Americas is this place called Caral, pictured here. and now near Lima, Peru. Uh, and we don't have a whole bunch. We don't really know a lot about these societies. We know that they obviously had these urban worlds. So far, I don't think we have much in the way of written records. We have a lot of material culture. There are pottery, jewelry, obviously urban centers. So this is sort of the center of when you have, as we know now, features of civilizations. When you have enough food, you can get more people. With more people come more complex worlds. The Charo was one of the first ones. About 1000 CE, this Chavan culture starts to emerge. They had a main center, urban center, again, sort of this Peru area, Chavan de Juntar. A lot of production of cotton textiles was down there. So we have and also wool, alpaca wool. And then we have a lot of their art, their ceramics. They're very highly made ceramics here. Here's some of their gold art. Here's some of their other art. So we have a lot of, so again, kind of once cities were established, sort of the rise and fall, new groups would come in, and a lot of these these societies are named after it's kind of where their major cities are found, and then their types of pottery. Sort of this so when we saw Chavan culture, it's reflective of their material culture, because we really don't know too much about the other aspects of the world. And then kind of a little bit later, it's this last group here, the Moche culture, about 100 to 800 CE, shows up. There's a major center, Huaca de Sol. Extensive pottery found. Here's some examples of their pottery. Here's one of their burial sites. So you can kind of see the extensive, the type of jewelry they had. Here's a sort of a necklace there. Obviously, I think there's some weapons in here, some places. So these burials, we can get a sense of the material culture. Again, we could kind of compare this to, say, Shang, China, where these burials, because we have them, we can pull out a lot of information about who these people are, what their society was. Here you can see a lot of pottery up here in these burial sites. This is Moche tomb in Sipan, Peru. So that's South America, which is the last little part of the Americas.